Hey everyone, welcome to the channel, and welcome to Richard's Review Roundup, where we quickfire look at the albums from July 2024. Just a laid-back, quick set of thoughts on the new releases that have come out recently. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe for more, and if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. It's lovely to see you again. Let's get into it. First up, from Camila Cabello, XOXO. By now this album has been thoroughly taken apart by critics and others online, to a point I feel bad just bringing it up again. I really liked Camila's last album, Familia. It felt like it demonstrated a lot of her strengths and appeal as an artist, and I think that's overall her best album. But here, that Latin flavour is gone, replaced with dancehall and lo-fi hip-hop style production, and with detuned pianos and blown-out drums. The sudden hyperpop direction is definitely a move. I'm not one to say an artist shouldn't do a certain style. Artistic freedom of expression should always be encouraged. But here, yeah, it's like they've just heard Brat for the first time and are now scrambling around to try and dress up the album in its best Charlie XCX costume. It's a train wreck that we've all just slowly watched roll by in fascination since I Love It came out, and it was revealed Drake was going to be on here twice. Like there's literally just a Drake song. Camila has no involvement in it at all, it's just here. It's like she left the room for 5 minutes and Drake just said, well, this looks like a job for me, and here it is. A random Drake song on another artist's record. At a time like this of all times. Look, there are bad albums you can be entertained by at the very least, and then there's this, which just left me feeling uncomfortable while I sat in its presence. An album that feels like it's turned up to a show before any real rehearsal has ever actually happened, and now everyone's just scrambling around to deliver whatever they can. I feel like a concerned parent wondering if Camila is okay, and also who at the record label is even responsible for all this in the first place. Try giving Familia another spin again. You can skip this one. From Jax, Dear Joe. The debut album from the lady responsible for Cinderella Snapped. I wasn't kind to that song, spoiler alert, but let's see what else she's got.
This is your daily reminder to wash your hands and change your sheets. And this is your daily reminder that Epstein didn't kill himself.
Can't say that.
Why not?
Yeah, this was a mistake. Where do I even start? Imagine if AJR tried to be a comedy band. Humor is subjective, sure, but when I say this album is a pick-me-girl type album, I mean that in the worst possible way. But also just an album confused with what it even wants to do or say. There are 7 interludes on this thing, either under or around the minute mark, and almost all of them are just a voice and a ukulele. Yes, I know this happened over a year ago now, I'm still not over it. Every time I hear a woman's voice and a ukulele, my mind only goes to one place. Also, Victoria's Secret was 2022, and Like My Father was released in 2021, and is by far the best song here. The rest aim for a theatrical style of 2010 Sia, but it's closer to Trauma Queen era Gabby Hanna. There are serious topics at hand, and Jax is game for tackling them, like on I Choose Violence, calling out older men preying on women much younger than them. But when you put it on an album and sandwich it in between interludes about someone cheating and getting an STD, one called Epstein Didn't Kill Himself, and the meme of the hour, Hockteur. Yeah, a poison type of pick-me mentality or clickbait, click-on-me type material. Play the Hockteur song, everyone! Come on, click on the funny meme. I know you want to. This totally won't be dated in 2 months' time. Well, I did. It was 19 seconds worth of audio about tricking people into clicking on it. Spend that $0.003 royalty payment wisely, Jax. I hope your dignity was worth it to create this utter disaster of a project half caught between wanting to be a 12-year-old edgelord and half attempting to write music for Coco Melon. Just don't bother. Not even as a curious hate listen that you think you might be able to get a laugh from, because there is no joy to be found here. Up next, from Hardy, Quit. Come on, Hardy, don't write my jokes for me, at least make me work for it. No, but in reality, this one's pretty easy to take in for what it is. Once you remove a concept like Hardy had on the Mockingbird and the Crow, you pretty much take away anything that could lead to Hardy making something that I find remotely interesting. So what we're left with is just an album that tries to split the difference between Kid Rock and Five Finger Death Punch. If you're into hard rock or country rock, you've heard this kind of style done better in so many other places. And what is here just gives you a series of similar sounding songs that default to overly compressed guitar mush, that forgets what a bass line is, sounds worse than it did on the previous concept album, and has no idea how to handle Hardy when he tries to do his scream vocals. And the lyrical content is honestly hilariously terrible when he isn't trying to come across as this outlaw badass who loves his guns and firing them like a crazy person. He's proclaiming he's the orphan of the country music town, an outcast to the industry. My dude, you are signed to Big Loud Records. But the real highlight is Rockstar, where he points out that he doesn't have a song called Rockstar yet. So here's a song he wrote called Rockstar. This is literally the same kind of concept to the Lonely Island song, Japan.
We've never been to Japan, so we wrote a song about the three of us in Japan, and our label has to pay for it.
This rockstar strategy will get him rising up the pop charts, according to him. Best of luck to you there, Hardy. The embarrassing moments that made this album laughably bad can't outweigh just how exhausting it was to get through. But hey, at least I didn't quit. Next up, from Imagine Dragons, Loom. An incredible and unexpected shift in creativity from Imagine Dragons here as they create a concept record about the 1990 DOS classic of the same name. A bold move as Loom is considered quite underrated, especially when something like Future Wars was right there. But I've got to hand it to them. The 17-minute prog rock masterpiece of the epic struggles the human race went through to install a game that came on 5 separate floppy disks was something truly transcendent to experience, and nah, I'm just fucking with you. It's more heavily electronic-based Imagine Dragons. But here's something that's also unexpected. I don't think it's terrible. Sonically, I think it's their most coherent and focused in a long while. Everyone appears to be on a similar kind of page. It's still going to give you the odd production choices you'll always get from them, but there's lots of interesting things they're doing here. And as the really nice Fire in These Hills close the album, I feel I can be confident in saying this is the most I've enjoyed an Imagine Dragons album since Night Visions. I know it's cool to hate on this band, but I've done enough hating already in this video. It's under half an hour long if you don't count the alternate version of Eyes Closed. You might be surprised. Give it a chance. Up next, from Zach Bryan, The Great American Bar Scene. Much like the bar scenes that cover the topics and tales in these songs, this is a full-bodied and rich listen of an album. Its main theme of the bar scene across America can feel a little long over 19 songs, but its strength in the songwriting and storytelling is so rich and nuanced and compelling that has seen Zach become such a force in such a short amount of time. The guest stars all excel and keep things varied, and through its variety in lyrical storytelling on offer and tighter focus on a theme, this might be his best album to date. So many standout moments, and a fantastic listen overall. Next up, from Gracie Abrams, The Secret of Us. It's totally fine. I like it even. Maybe it's the circles I move around in, but I feel like the knives were out for this one on arrival. Simply by the name and the kind of sound it was going for, i.e. what if Gracie Abrams made the Torture Poets department, and hey, let's get Aaron Dessner as a producer and Taylor Swift to appear on a song to make this comparison far less subtle. Hey, if you're friends with literally the biggest musician on the planet right now, taking a few cues from her isn't exactly a bad idea. Oh, and with being J.J. Abrams' daughter, you're of course going to inevitably get the chatter of nepotism, industry plants, all that tiresome stuff. But I'm not here to discuss the debate on that. Go and watch the Mic The Snare video on that if you need a refresher. Do I wish this showcased a sound that's probably going to wear on me as time goes on? That's for future me to think about. If you're looking for more sad girl indie pop, well, it doesn't all work, but I feel like there's enough songs here that I liked that I feel like my listening time was worth it. Check the recommendations if you're curious. Before we get to the rest of the reviews, just a quick note to ask you to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and if you really like what I'm doing here, my Patreon link is below and is just £1 a month if you'd like to support me and the channel. Up next, from Megan Moroney, Am I Okay? I've been looking forward to this one so much, and it gave me everything I could have wanted from Megan. Showcasing a natural ability to work with different styles of pop and neo-traditional country, and I got a lot of hints of Jodie Messina and Sheryl Crow, which was a really great surprise. And the song Indifferent shows she's also been listening to Olivia Rodrigo. Indifferent is great, and I hope she continues to explore that territory. It's a varied listen, heartbreaking, moving and confessional, with cuts like 28th of June, Heaven by Noon and Mama I Lied. But also brilliantly uplifting, like on the standout track The Girls. Overall, it's a wonderful listen that I hope makes Megan the star she so truly deserves to be. Oh, and speaking of Megan, from Megan the Stallion, Megan. Another supreme set of fiercely hard-hitting and sexually charged bangers here from Megan. And for anyone keeping up with her on social media, will know about her love for anime, which is showcased here, and that was a really nice surprise. I think after multiple albums in, you know exactly what to expect from Megan. She's going to put the people who doubt her in her place, and she's not going to take any shit from no one. And while it doesn't have too many curveballs away from her usual style, she's so damn good at what she does that I don't mind. Another great album from her. From Tems, Born in the World. A rich, warm and inviting listen here. This is vibe-heavy R&B and neo-soul with a very healthy dash of Afrobeats and dancehall. Something to just soak in for a while. It kind of all blends together in spots, but it is a blissful and engaging listen throughout. Not really a whole lot left to say, but still, I highly recommend checking this out. Next up, from NxWorries and Anderson Paak, Why Lord. Anderson Paak and NxWorries team up once again as this project takes a downbeat, R&B, neo-soul and jazz-like approach. One trying to handle Anderson Paak's recent divorce, as the lo-fi production and percussion can create an eerie-like tone throughout, but still create the soulful kind of atmosphere that's going to create something far more upbeat, albeit with the help of numerous interludes and other fragments scattered throughout. That makes it a more difficult record to love than Yes Lord, but I'm sure it will grow on me over time and extended listens. And lastly, from Eminem, The Death of Slim Shady, Coup de Grace. Okay, if you want to sit in some Slim Shady nostalgia for a while, enjoy yourself. And yeah, I know it's the alter ego thing that he's doing and putting it to rest, seemingly for good now, but I have old customers at work who complain to me about pronouns and cancel culture. So listening to this album felt like my 9 to 5 too. And I cannot express enough how I don't need to hear someone with a monthly listening number roughly the same as the entire population of Germany complain to me about being cancelled. Something he will never be. There's stuff on here I liked, don't get me wrong, but overall, like Eminem, sometimes you gotta move on from the past. And that's exactly what I'm doing too. And that'll do it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to like and subscribe, it would be a wonderful help to the channel. Leave comments about what you thought on these records, or what you were listening to in July. Anything else, as it all helps the algorithm, or nothing at all. Your viewership here is more than enough and always appreciated. Thank you again for watching. I'll see you next time.